Funny thing is, I was out riding around, windows down, music blaring loud, having a good time, and I saw come across my phone that Coach Reed's contract had expired. I'm in the car, I'm just jamming to the tunes, and a couple of songs came on that really made me think about, the value of just our women in general. And I got to thinking, what we've seen Coach Reed do in the past 6 seasons at Jackson State University with that women's basketball team speaks volumes. You can't take that away from her at all. But then popped up was she interviewed for the Tulane job. And I said, uh-oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this can't be real. So finally, once I got myself settled, I had to sit down, get to reading a little bit to see exactly what was going on. And, it just brought me back to really thinking like, this woman's worth. And I got to talk about it because it's poking at me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when something poke at you a little bit too much, you have to speak on it. You get what I'm saying? So Coach gonna go ahead. We're gonna jump on in this thing because it's a lot to unpack. I know y'all like, Coach, come on, man. You a couple steps behind. Let me catch it up for you right quick. We're gonna talk about it right after this. What's your favorite coach back at it again? 10 toes down, about to tell you how it all went down. This is Tomorrow Leaders Sports Network with your host, Coach Walker. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can get all upcoming videos. For all my leaders out there, welcome back. Y'all know the drill. Y'all know the routine. If you haven't done so already, please like, comment, and share these videos, and tap in a friend or two and tell them to come on in. It's nothing but positive vibes. We're just having a good time talking about HBCU sports. And don't forget, you can follow us on all social media platforms. The links are listed down below in the description. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump on in this thing. Because I'm like, Coach, what's on your mind? What's your take? Well, I'm going to put it to you simple and plain. I thought back to when Coach Reed first left Jackson State as an assistant basketball coach, and then she came back, and now she's the head basketball coach over the women's basketball team. And looking at what she's been able to accomplish with those young ladies over there at Jackson State left me wondering, like, okay, what's the real deal here? And one thing that I caught on to very quickly is that the culture she's been able to create with those young ladies over there. It's the vibe as far as, what she expects from the ladies that come into her program. Just any old body can't come in there and say, I want to play for Coach Reed and think everything's going to be groovy. You got to come here and pay some dues. You got to lay it on the line. You might have a couple of tears that might come out your eyes. A little mascara might bleed out just a little bit while you're out there on the court. I know you ladies, y'all got that fancy makeup now. Well, y'all get on the court and do your thing and still look flawless. And I love it. I love it. But this is the thing. When you hear Coach Reed give her pregame speeches, I still got that one in particular, Coach Reed, that, like I said before, when you spoke, it reminded me of how my great-grandmother used to tell us back in the day, stand up erect. You know how you used to sit slouched over. She takes stand up erect. You stand up against that wall like that, boy, like you're at attention. And I promise you, I got 2 baskets left in me, Coach. I got just two baskets. That's it. I get you 3 rebounds and 2 baskets. That's it. But what I'm saying is, I'm looking at what she's able to do as far as with uplifting these young ladies, teaching, developing, and the production that's coming from all of that. If you haven't paid close attention to what's going on right now, there are people trying to emulate what she's doing. So if people are trying to emulate what someone else is doing, this lady's out here putting in work and they see the value. So when I sat back and looked at like all the accomplishments, the Coach of the Year accomplishments, the multiple ones that she got, the several regular season SWAC champions that she's received, that her team has won, the multiple SWAC conference championships that they won, I believe it's 3. And then for her to go take the team to the NCAA tournament several times and go to the NIT, what are we talking about? She got the number 14th seed. I think that was twice she got that. So I'm like, her worth. And then not only that, but now we see her stacking that team up in the manner which she can get out there and start beating Power 5 schools. Heck, she knocked off St. John's this past season. And I mean, when you start to get when you get that first vote for the very first time from the AP Top 25, y'all know what time it is. Hey, she has arrived. Coach Tomekia Reed has arrived. And not to mention, you got to give the coaches on the staff as well, because everybody is marching lockstep to everything that's going on, because everybody plays a part as far as with the head coach. Yes, she might be the head that's moving everyone in the direction that they need to go, but you got to get those folks out there that's extended out, got them arms extended, and everybody locked, like I said, locked toe together, and they're moving together as one. You got to give them their credit as well, because looking at the success that this team has had over the past couple of years, you can't question it. And I was, for some strange reason, Maxwell came on today, and this woman's work. I know that songs have many different connotations. You can take that multiple ways and go whichever direction you want to go with it. But the one thing that I know, not the one thing that I know, but the one thing that I do look at, I know some folks will be like, Coach, that's the song about having a child. Well, if you want to put it into that type of context, let's look at what Coach Reed has actually been doing. She's given birth to a culture for Jackson State women's basketball team, which she embodies courage, strength, and determination that her athletes take with them once they leave her program. You got to understand, guys, this is bigger than just on the court. What Coach Reed is able to do with these young ladies, she's doing something that's going to last a lifetime. And what you're going to see a lot of these young ladies, when they're done playing basketball, they're going to get out here and want to start coaching as well. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to peel that layer back from when they was being coached by none other than Tomekia Reed herself over at Jackson State University, because she touched them in a manner in which it helped them understand what needs to be done, how it needs to be done, and what they need to do to get to where they're trying to go. See, looking at things from a different perspective sometimes is what I like to do, because a lot of times we go through journeys. We have to go through a journey sometimes. And the journeys that we go through in life, especially with being a coach, looking at things through Coach Reed's eyes, and I could be wrong. I believe she teaches them how to navigate through tough times that they may go through throughout life. There's a lot of times where athletes, they've been given things so easily, which they think that those things are just going to continue to keep being given to them that way. And I think what Coach Reed does, I honestly feel that she makes them earn it. And she makes them earn it at a pace where it's not just going to be handed to you. Because when she said in one of her, in that pregame speech, that she said, you can't go out there being scared. You can't go out there being scared. And that's how everybody has to go through life right now. You can't go out there being scared. And understanding the necessary things that must be done in order for you to get to where you're trying to go, you can't be scared. Sometimes you got to pull them boots up a lot higher than what you anticipate. And right now I'm looking at, like I said, back to the contract. She's had two Power 5 coaches, speak highly of her efforts as far as with being a coach and having those athletes prepared to get out there on that court and play against their teams. I mean, hey, you had Coach Mulkey from LSU a couple years back when they played. She said, she said this, and I quote, she said, she ain't going to be at Jackson State long if they don't pay you. This is what Coach Mulkey said. And I'm not her agent. I'm not her best friend. I just know talent, and I respect people from afar on a job well done. Now, that was LSU head women's basketball coach, Coach Mulkey, who was just in the Elite Eight, and they just got knocked out by Iowa University. Now we spin it again, in which Coach Umeyor coached against Jackson State in the opening round of the tournament this year, in which Jackson State did lose to him. But this is something that he had to say about her after the game. And he said, and I quote, "They certainly don't get on TV enough, and they certainly don't get enough recognition. And I want to let her know that, and I wanted to put myself out there for her. I think we need coaches like her to be celebrated." You absolutely freaking correct. She needs to be celebrated. She needs to be celebrated. There's a lot of other coaches that's out there as well that bust their humps, just like Coach Reed is doing, need to be celebrated. Now, when you hear things like that about your head women's basketball coach, it shows you that the woman's worth, the woman's work is something beyond extraordinary. Now, if these two Power 5 coaches can see that in head coach Tomekia Reed, and not only that, But if I'm not mistaken, Coach Reed is going to go do a camp. So you can't tell me these people ain't paying close attention to what Coach Reed is doing down in Jackson State. Y'all can't tell me they ain't paying no attention to what she's doing over there in Jackson, Mississippi. No. Let's be real now. This woman's work is serious, right? But you know what? Like I stated earlier, I posted a short about the Tulane position, right? Yeah, she interviewed for the Tulane position. And you know what? I'm kind of glad she did. I know you're like, Coach, wait, whoa, what you talking about, brother? I'm glad she went and interviewed for that job. I'm going to tell you why. Because like I stated in the beginning, this woman's work, this woman's worth. See, sometimes you have to get out there and get a little feeling of what's being offered out there to know your worth. We've seen her work. We've seen her work. This woman's work is beyond phenomenal. With the coaching staff that she has, her ability to get out there and recruit the athletes to come into the program, and those young ladies go out there and put the product out there on the court as what she has directed for them to put out there. Now, one thing I will say is this. Sometimes you got to find out exactly what's going on. Yeah, you got to find out what's going on. Yes, it has been noted that Tulane University, they did hire one of their own. Ashley Langford. She's an alum of Tulane University. Tulane University, the Blue Wave. And not only that, but she played on the women's basketball team. So, you know what? That's phenomenal right there. But not only that, to hear that Coach Reed interviewed for the job and for them to hire the young lady that they did hire for the job, what Tulane did was they created history in which this young lady is the first African-American woman head basketball coach in the program's history. Salute, salute, salute. Now, I'll be remiss if I didn't say that the University of Tennessee job wasn't open. I mean, that did just come open. So like I said before, we got to sit back and see how that's going to roll, because it might, a report or two might end up coming out saying that, hey, Coach Reed might have interviewed for that one as well, if they might be interested in her. But trust and believe, what we've seen Coach Reed accomplish over the past 6 years while being back at Jackson State as the women's head basketball coach is beyond phenomenal. And one thing for certain, two things for sure. Money don't move Coach Reed. That's one thing that I learned about her watching that, was it the 700? I could have it wrong, but she did a show where she just talked about herself and, things that she's going through. And one thing to understand about Coach Reed is her faith. Her faith is everything. Family and faith means the most to her than anything else in the world. Getting a big bag, that big bag can come in many different forms. A lot of folks looking at that big bag as it's cash. And cash don't always make you happy. But one thing for certain is this. Coach Reed, I do believe, faith is what moves her. And if her faith says, hey, Coach Reed, we need to make a move, then we might see that. I believe Coach Reed is looking to make Jackson State into a powerhouse women's basketball program. And I think that is something that people don't quite understand, because she continues to keep getting the athletes to come into that program that want to play for her. These are athletes that's coming from Power 5 programs that's coming into Jackson State and being productive. They're becoming a part of something that Coach Reed and her coaching staff has been able to create. And that's something that I don't think many quite understand. I think what's going on over at Grambling right now, I think they kind of catching heed like, yo, this is what we need to do over here. We need to start trying to build this thing in a manner which we need to go and for us to move forward. And maybe even FAMU and a couple other schools as well. But all I'm saying is that these athletes are understanding that the right coaching will have them in the right position to get to where they're trying to go. And as far as AD Ashley Robinson goes, that young man there has always been cooler than the other side of the pillow. And I'm sure he's going to do any and everything he possibly can within his power to make sure that he's able to keep head coach Tomekia Reed in Jackson, Mississippi, to continue to keep being that women's basketball coach. I would love to see it happen, because what's going to end up happening is, I think with the talent and her ability to get out there and coach in the manner which she has been over the past years, over the years, now has many of the other institutions starting to look a little bit more at the coaches that they're bringing in, that they may want to lead their women's basketball program, because now they're trying to pick the pace up because they want to compete at a high level. Honestly, I feel that we talk about all the time that we would love to see ourselves get on an even playing field. I think with Coach Reed, with this women's basketball team and what she's been able to do, I think if she continues to keep recruiting in the manner which she's recruiting, she will be able to take a team and go play on a Power 5 level and compete. And give her a couple years with it, she might win it. So I'm just going to put that out there right now, because that is what she's shown us as far as her ability of being a coach. I honestly feel that she's so much more to these young ladies than we could ever imagine. And with all of the chaos that's going on out here right now, with folks just speaking reckless and crazy about women athletes that just is out of pocket, we need more coaches like Coach Reed to stand in that gap to make sure that these young ladies have someone that they can talk to, in the manner which they need to, so that they can continue to keep forging forward. Because once again, this is a pastime that everyone loves to watch. It's entertainment. And what Coach Reed and her coaching staff has been able to do, like I stated before, is beyond phenomenal. Coach Reed, however the chips may fall, I've admired the work that you put into those young ladies out there on that basketball court, season in and season out. It speaks volumes of what someone can do, given the opportunity to drive that car in the manner which it needs to be driven to get to the end result. I know right now you're not at the end result, and there's so much more work left to be done. But one thing I can honestly say is you are truly appreciated. Thank you. But guys, Coach gonna go ahead and get about this thing. But until next time, be the one and lead.